Swiss Army knife. I remember back when ESPN magazine was a thing, there was a thing on Tony Parrish. He's the Swiss Army knife for the Niners. And it was all these things that he could do. He could cover the pass and stuff the run and this. The two Swiss Army knives on the Niners who can run and catch, Debo and Christian McCaffrey. Yep. And one's a running back who specializes as a receiver at times. The other is a receiver who could specialize as a running back at times. And it feels like they're interchangeable. And I watched these two alpha dogs go out there yesterday and just dominate the New York Giants. It was awesome to watch.
Man, I feel bad because my guy Diego, man, that's my right-hand man. Why was I calling him Jose? What the hell was I thinking about? I'm sorry. I hear you, Shasky, on McCaffrey and Debo. And, you know, a lot of people say, well, you have Christian McCaffrey, so you don't need a Debo Samuel. And I always kind of laughed at that notion. Like, all right, first of all, you guys must not know football because the more playmakers, the better. Makes you more threatening.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these teams defending Colorado's offense, for example, in the college ranks, or when Alabama had Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, Jerry Jeudy, and Henry Ruggs. It was like, pick your poison.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? More playmakers, the better.
Agreed.
Pardon me. When you have Debo and what Chris McCaffrey did to come here, okay, now you can take some of the stress off of Debo. Now when you run the jet sweep with Debo Samuel, which we haven't seen much this season. Now it comes with the element of surprise. Because last year became predictable. All of a sudden, you can have them both lined up in the backfield. What are you going to do? Have them both lined up in the slot. What are you going to do?
They were both at wide receiver yesterday, and I was like, I had not seen a lot of that. I mean, I know there's somebody who's going to know the formations, but they fake screened to CMC and then screened over to Debo, 25, 30-yard game.
That's what I'm saying. So when you have these playmakers, the Yak Bros.
Yes.
Because Debo's a Yak monster. Christian McCaffrey's a Yak monster. That's why when people say, well, all Brock Purdy does is dink and dunk. Joe Montana would have did the same damn thing with these weapons. 5-yard dump offs, quick sleds. Here we go. This is the Shanahan offense. This is how you work these. Go watch Tom Brady. There's a video montage right now of Tom Brady throwing a bunch of screens, flares, swings, sleds. Does not matter. Just get the ball to your playmakers. And when you have two playmakers like this, both of these guys this year may be on the first team All-Pro team. That's what we're talking about here. We want to talk about All-Pro Fred. We haven't talked about him enough. Fred Warner.
He was good yesterday.
Yeah, he's always good.
He's good yesterday.
He's in a conversation for DPOY.
Yeah,
I don't care
we take
what anybody
him for
says.
granted. You're right.
No doubt. But now I'm looking at the offensive side of the football. Trent Williams has his spot locked up at left tackle. All right? Kyle Juszczyk probably has the spot locked up at fullback. George Kittle will get consideration. Now we got to see the numbers. But Debo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey have a chance to be the All-Pro first team in the NFL this season.
Well,
they're that special.
What running, ask yourself, what running back right now are you swapping out for CMC? Forget the trade. Just swap out. Name me the running back you're replacing CMC with right now, and it's an upgrade.
In this offense, nobody. But you can make the argument for Derrick Henry. I don't think anybody's going to say no
I'll
to that.
listen, but I think CMC fits better. But keep going.
Saying.
I'll listen.
For this offense,
yes.
For this
That's
offense,
what I'm saying.
There's nobody out there I would rather have.
He's the perfect Shanahan player. You were talking about Tom Brady and the dinking and dunking, and I'm really glad you made this point. When Arians and Tom Brady first got united, Arians wants to throw the ball deep. What did Tom Brady and him do in the first 7 or 8 weeks of the season?
Throw the ball deep.
But they struggled because that didn't fit the profile of what Brady wants to do. And until they blended it and they both compromised a little, they didn't get off to a hot start. And I look at what Shanahan wants to do. At what point has Shanahan been air offense? We're going to throw it 50 times, 25 yards down the field. That's not what he wants. What he wants is exactly what Purdy's doing. Right. What he wants is exactly what fits the personnel of CMC and Debo. And boy, Ronnie Bell fits just right. And Juwan Jennings, 2 or 3 really good catches last night.
He's a nice little player for this football team. I'm looking at the numbers for Christian McCaffrey, 60 carries, 353 yards, 3 touchdowns on the season. He's averaging 5.9 yards a carry so far.
Wow.
5.9 yards a carry. This guy is going to eclipse 1,000 yards probably in 8 games, maybe 9.
That's crazy.
I mean, if all things go well,
what is the
right?
fastest 49er to 1,000 in terms of games?
I don't know.
We got to figure that out.
You got to look that up. Diego Samuel and Jose McCaffrey.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
Sorry, Diego. I owe you a beer.
Funny.
I got next beer's on me, Diego.
I think we know that Debo's nasty. I think we're all starting to really understand CMC is nasty. I'm talking about physicality, running through people's souls. He's a beast.
You think people are surprised at him being a beast? Do I need to bring back the Stafford clips?
Well, B, you know what? It's like Kevin Durant. I knew Kevin Durant was great. But when you watch a guy every game for your team, you just appreciate all the little things. You know what I mean? Like, and then I also believe that when Durant joined the Warriors, he took his game to another level.
He did.
And I'm looking at CMC, and I ask out loud, what's the hole in his game?
Yeah, he doesn't have a hole in his game.
He's elevating everyone around him.
In his game.
He's elevating his game. He's just the perfect fit.
Let's go to Al at Half Moon Bay. Al, what's happening?
What's happening, guys? Good morning. So to kind of jump on your coattails there, I followed CMC when he was at Stanford. I don't remember him being a menace the way he is now. North Carolina, I didn't see it, but here, he's just going to go out and like hurt you.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, every single receiver on our team is they're going to punish you, man. You try to tackle them, they're going to hurt you. And then last thing. In regards to Brock Purdy, according to Next Gen Stats, he was blitzed almost 85% at a completion rate of like over 66%. It's just crazy.
Isn't that insane?
Methodical he is.
Isn't that insane? Did you read off the numbers of the what was his numbers against the blitz, Al? You got the numbers right there.
It was like 66 point something, and he got blitzed 84.6% of the time the entire game. It's nuts.
Yeah, 20 and 31, 247, 2 touchdowns
That's
versus
crazy.
the blitz. So now what will teams do? Now Gannon is the coach down in Arizona, comes from Philadelphia. Will he blitz more? Will the Dallas Cowboys, Dan Quinn, will he blitz more now that he doesn't have Trayvon Diggs?
That's a big loss.
Now that teams are seeing this on Thursday Night Football on a short week with no Brandon Ayuk, you still want to blitz Brock Purdy? Knowing that he has Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel. That's the thing with the blitz. You start blitzing his team, and all of a sudden you got to play. I love Mike Tomlin before week one. They got a bunch of space eaters.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you want to be a space 101 with these guys?
We're going to run through your
Kittle,
soul.
McCaffrey,
That's what I'm saying.
And Deebo.
Did you see that there was a play on a crosser? Deebo catches the ball, or maybe it was the in-cutting one. He catches the ball, and his head is looking, which safety and corner can I run through? And he's an absolute throwback monster. Deebo could have played in any era.
I think so.
Right? If you gave him a leather helmet, is he not running through people's souls?
No, he plays through any area. That's why I'm excited about this offense. If they get to Philadelphia, I'm telling you, man.
That was a C game, and they still put up 30.
Exactly.
With very minimal prep.
You
and
see
it
what I'm
looked
talking
like
about
it.
here?
No,
And
you're
so
on it.
We're having a discussion.
You're on it, B.
In today's game, isn't it offensive user-friendly?
Absolutely.
The rules help the offense so much more than the defense. And then you get Shanahan, who's sitting here looking at his play sheet going, oh, my God.
Everything's open.
I've got everything. And now I finally got a quarterback that I can trust. Boy.
I look at that play in the red zone, the first touchdown to Ronnie Bell, and Jimmy G would always, I hate to, it feels like I'm knocking Jimmy G when I'm comparing him to Brock Purdy, but it's me elevating Brock. It feels like when the rush would come into his face, either Jimmy would take the sack in the red zone, and then they'd like, we're kicking a field goal, or he'd throw one up, and you're like, what? You can't make that throw in the red zone and give up punts, give up points, excuse me. Free rusher comes in. Brock diagnoses it, says, I'm going to throw the ball to a spot where only Ronnie Bell's going to make a play near the pylon, or it's going to go out of bounds, or it's going to be incomplete. And he just throws it up as he's backpedaling.
Yep.
Perfect ball location. Ronnie Bell boxes out, gets both feet down. And I'm like, that's the difference right there. Right there, that's the difference.
Here's Shanahan asking you to evaluate Brock's performance from last night.
Yeah, he missed a couple today, and guys made a couple of real good catches also. I thought it was just a huge challenge, one of the biggest ones Brock's been in, just to, the short week to prepare for a scheme like that. Just how much they do with, they had 6 guys on the line of scrimmage throughout the game. Half the time they're coming, half the time they're not. There's not a comfortable play throughout a game, from a play call standpoint and from the quarterback, just because there's a lot of plays that don't work versus that. And so you got to constantly be looking at it, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, which is a huge challenge for a quarterback. And I thought he settled down throughout it as the game went and ended up playing good enough for us to win.
All right, Shanahan, he also said, man,
better than that.
We still have a lot of things to fix.
We did real good, time of possession. I think we had like 40 minutes. I thought our defense played real well. I thought they stepped it up last week. They started doing that in the second half last week, and I thought it continued into today. It was a good job making them one-dimensional in the run game. We did very well on third downs on offense today, which allowed us to keep some drives going. But we got to improve because I think we could have more points than that.
You know what's crazy is that they can play better, which is nuts, right? And they still won going away in this game. And if they needed to, they would have scored 40 points.
Right.
Just look at their personnel. Hufanga is like 24 years old. Purdy is 23 years old. What?
Youngsters.
Ayuk is 25?
Yeah.
Debo's 26? Like, this isn't a 30-plus old team. Like, this is a very... Aaron Banks, how old is he? Like, this team has nothing but young players. Bosa just inked up...
McCaffrey's 27.
Bosa's 25. He's 25. Like, I think we need to start thinking, like, this is one of the most loaded teams I could think of in Niner history. It's getting there.
It's getting there. It's getting there. Let's pump the brakes on that one, though. I'm going to pump the brakes on that one.
Look, there's 89, there's 85,
84.
there's 94.
Yeah, no, there's been some
This
great
is a great
teams in
team,
history.
Bonte.
This has the potential to be a super great team because special teams, even special teams with the kicking game, has been really good this year with Jake Moody and Mitch Wisnowski. Now, Jake Moody did have to shank on a kickoff down at SoFi Stadium. I didn't like that. The Rams got the ball at the 40-yard line because he added the flag. But for the most part, he's been really
great.
You got to get those kickoffs right, man.
No, I agree there. I agree. And our gunners need to do better. We've hit the kick return or the punt returner now back-to-back weeks. That is going to cost them in a closer game.